Hello and welcome back to Sonny Talk Spurs, and today I'm going to be revealing who is the most underrated player at Tottenham Hotspur. But before we get into this, if you are new on the channel, why don't you leave a like on the video, subscribe to Sonny Talk Spurs and hit that notification bell because it lets you know every time I've gone live. Now, let's get into it. Before I reveal who is the most underrated player at Spurs, well, in my opinion, let me know in the comments down below right now. Who do you think it is? I want to see if any of you get it spot on. If any of you think maybe your player is more underrated than my version. I just want to know all your thoughts. We can have a good debate in the comment section. But the player is, drumroll please, Pedro Porro. Yes, you heard me right. He seems to be the only player at Tottenham Hotspur, well, maybe, who is not getting certain plaudits. I think he is getting his fair share of pat on the backs. But today I want to give him the biggest pat on the back this season because I look around the current squad, the current starting lineup. I've seen many people praising Vicario, Romero, Van der Ven, Udogie, Bissouma, Sarr, Maddison, Kulusevski, and Son. Maybe not Richarlison, but we'll see. But not many people are saying about Pedro Porro. And I just find that quite interesting because, and I'll reveal them later on, and you probably saw them on the thumbnail as well. His FB Rev stats are insane. I've never seen so much green in all my life in an FB Rev stats. And obviously, I like to do these little player deep dives, especially at the moment with all the players doing so well. I recently did one on James Maddison as well, so go and check that out afterwards. Link will be above my head somewhere. But yeah, today it's all about Pedro Porro. And let's start with just talking about his time at Tottenham so far. Obviously, in the summer, his transfer was made permanent for between 30 and 40 million pounds in the current market. And, you know, he was bought weirdly to be this right wing back in a Conte system. And he is traditionally a wing back because, you know, he's a more attacking presence in a team and people say his defending lacks in certain areas. So when he joined, he obviously had some moments, you know, under Conte, under Stellini, then Mason, but a lot of it was a bit like, well, what's going on here? You know, in that loan spell, like, have we signed the right player? Have we just blurted money on a manager that is not going to be here in the summer? Because obviously we know how Conte's relationship with Spurs ended. And, you know, question marks were being asked, especially when Ange came in on where's this player going to fit? He's not a he's not a right back rather. He is a right wing back. And Ange Postecoglou traditionally plays a 4 at the back. So where is he going to fit, you know? And we, you know, in the summer, we had a massive list of players. We had still, you know, Jed Spence, his future was up in the air. Emerson Royal was still at the club. So, you know, our fullback situation was a nightmare in the summer. So the way I see it, and, you know, some people were even saying, do we need to actually buy another right back to sort of, you know, carry the load in that position? But he was obviously didn't start the season at right back. It was Emerson Royal, who had quite a good game against Brentford, obviously scored as well. But then there was a certain game this season where Pedro Porro came in and he absolutely bossed it. And obviously that was the second game of the season against Manchester United. I was there watching him in the flesh. And the first 45 minutes were a bit mixed, let's put it that way. He didn't have the best of games. He looked a bit shaky. Rashford did have him on toast. I think it's the only player Rashford has actually tested this season. And then on the cusp of half-time, he hit the crossbar with an amazing shot. We know he's got an eye for goal. You know, many people before the start of the season were saying, like, maybe we use him as a winger instead of a right back. Maybe we use him as an 8. You know, how Maddison has been playing this season, and he acts more creative because he is quite comfortable on the ball. That's one of his good assets. And then, you know, he's obviously scored 3 goals for Tottenham, and they were 3 really good goals. The one against Leeds stands out indefinitely. But in the second half, he was absolutely mustard, especially in a defensive sense as well. He had that right back berth on lock in that game towards the end, and he was just offering so much. I'm thinking the Burnley game this season, the ball that he threads through Son is absolutely exquisite. The timing is fantastic. And it turns out Ange's system is perfect for Pedro Porro. Destiny Udogie as well. I have to mention him in this conversation because traditionally he is a wing back and not a left back. So, it seems like that whole defensive unit, who I've praised individually at points so far this season, have all been fantastic. Even Vicario behind them as well. They're linking up really, really well. And it's just a very good unit. And Pedro Porro has a good relationship with Kulusevski, with the defence and in that midfield. And he just really plays well in the pocket, doing those underlapping runs, going into midfield. He's really comfortable accepting the ball and turning it over. And, just the way we've been able to pass it at the back. We are now actually playing to his strengths more than ever. And I didn't think this would be the case under Ange. I thought he would really actually struggle in this system. And I thought we might actually end up moving him on. But as I say, that's why he's one of my most underrated players this year, because he's sort of gone about his duty and, with the most professionalism, and he's just got on with it, and he's really good. He's a passion merchant. Obviously, the own goal against Liverpool that won it for us was from his cross. I think his crossing has got a lot better as well for us. We're seeing the player we saw at Sporting. We played against that player, and he is finally becoming really good. And he's passionate. He loves Spurs. The celebrations after that own goal, when he held his shirt up, were fantastic. I really, really loved it. But now it's the time of the player deep dive. When I get those FB Rev stats up, we read through them, we highlight the big bits about them, and we just marvel and go, wow, we have got a serious player on our hands. And bearing in mind, this guy is 24 years old. I have been very critical of him, when it comes to... I remember once, and I've got to tell this anecdote, my friend was a big Pedro Porro fan. I'm getting the stream up for the Wolves game last season, and he goes, yeah, Pedro Porro has been really good, actually. I was like, right, turn it on, and he was absolutely awful. So we and him have a bit of banter about Porro, so now he has come quite good. I'm getting it in the neck. And even, Tim Sherwood was his greatest critic, but even this season he has backtracked and said, yeah, this guy's quite good. Now let's look at these stats then. So his non-penalty goals 0.13 per 90, his non-penalty XG 0.12, his shot total 1.79 per 90 for a wing back. Same with assists, 0.17 per 90. His his expected assist goals are 0.20. His non-penalty XG plus XAG is 0.32. And his shot creating actions are 2.96. He is so creative. He is such a bright spark on that right-hand side. And his pace and his dynamic edge helps Kulusevski, because Kulusevski is more known for his dribbling and cutting in. He just offers a different option on that right-hand side, and they link up really well. Passes attempted, 57.4, and even if you look at progressive passes, 4.18, progressive carries, 2.09, successful take-ons, 0.87, touches, 1.74, progressive passes received, 6.32. And even, I've said about his defensive record, it's not as good even this season. Sometimes it looks a bit weird, looks a bit uncomfortable in that position with some of the best wingers. But look at this, his tackles, 2.79. His interceptions could be a bit better at 0.96. Blocks, 2.35, quite good. Clearances, 2.18, maybe a bit better as well. And he's not really good at winning aerials. That's one of his big negatives, actually. When a ball's swung in, he does leave someone on the back post a lot. I'm thinking Jordan Ayew's goal against Palace, he was a bit at fault for that. Sometimes he just needs to, think about those balls coming across on those back posts. And I know he's not the tallest of players, which, he's not going to grow overnight, is he? But I think he's done growing at this stage. But yeah, that's something he can work on. He still can work on his defensive attributes. I feel like that is still a thing. But his attacking attributes are fantastic, and that's why I just think he's the most underrated player in this Tottenham squad this season. They've all got plaudits, we're top of the league, everyone's getting compliments in this Ange Postecoglou side, but Pedro Porro deserved a pat on the back today. But let me know, like I said at the top of the video, do you agree with Pedro Porro as the most underrated, or who is your most underrated player in the Tottenham squad so far this season? And that's it for today. If you have liked it, leave a like, and subscribe to Sonny Talk Spurs. Hit that notification bell and stay tuned to the end of the video and maybe watch something else on Sonny Talk Spurs. I would greatly appreciate it. And as I said, I've been Sonny. I'll see you pretty soon on a show.